Hey, hello everyone. I am Ruben, Director of Coaching for WSA. I'm sharing a recording with you as part of the weekly emails that I like to send out, again, on a weekly basis to provide just a little bit of information that could be very useful, helpful for our developing coaches, whether they're volunteer or professional. Um, to improve the offering, I've decided to play around with and provide you with a short video, which I'm recording via this platform to show you part of a game recently recorded, played by one of our under 11 boys teams, to highlight a couple of things that could be useful for coaches to see as well. Now, what I want to highlight, and I'll use the next slide for that, right? So this team is a team that I have been coaching that I started coaching and therefore also have been training with the last 2.5 weeks. A key principle I've been addressing across the board has been move the ball to move the opponent. As in, we pass the ball, the opponent is traveling, chasing the ball, so we can create openings, right? And those openings are there then to take advantage of. There's a couple key considerations that play a big role in our success or lack thereof. So the first one is in our organization, we've got to find a way to support each other off the ball, but in angles. All right. Another thing that's really important, the distance of the support, which you'll see in the video. A lot of players have a tendency to run to the ball rather than away from. And often you do your teammate a bigger favor by moving away from the ball than running to it. Right, the timing of set support is really important as well. I mean, good soccer players find a way to get in the right place at the right moment. Okay, with that, the player on the ball obviously needs to be able to scan his surroundings. Talking about under 11 boys right now. So based on what happens around him, he needs to figure out what the next best decision is. Right, and we're also going to look at a couple decisions that are executed and whether or not to execute it technically correct. Because again, that is also a big part of it. So again, for the player on the ball, what decisions do they make in the execution of set decisions as well. But this goes hand in hand with the first three key considerations as well, because one can only make a good decision on the ball. The support is there at the right time, on the right angle, in the right place. Last but not least, can we now, as a team, play a ball out of pressure effectively to move the ball, to move the opponent. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen really quick, and I'm going to go straight to the video. Bear with me. All right, so I'm going to go back to right here. I pause it really quickly. All right, so this is a game that was played last weekend. It's an under 11 boys team. They played 9v9. I am the coach of this team, as I stated before, and I've been working with this team for about 2.5 weeks now. Okay, on occasion, I'm going to let the video roll, and every so often, I'm just going to replay something to highlight a few things that I feel we could do a better job of moving forward. This is also providing me with tons of valuable information as a coach because now I know in what areas we need to continue to work and improve to really to be able to implement the principle that I've highlighted before, as in move the ball to move the opponent. Okay, so after these substitutions take place, I want you to look at the overall organization of the team. And I'm obviously talking about the blue team right now, to make sure that we can do what we have talked about. All right, and what's going to happen next? Because right now, as you can see, my center back is looking to play a ball forward. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to open up my highlights. All right, give me 1 second. My list of highlights. There we go. So going back to the same video again, and then hopefully you'll see the. All right, so as you can tell, I've circled almost all the players. The player on the ball right now is the center back. On the outside here is my right back, and this is my left back, so the three in the back. The keeper right now is not in play because we're going from right to left, and he's closer to his own goal than the opponent's goal. Now, it is a bit of a challenge right now. We're not super organized, right? My left back should be dropping on an angle for the center back to be an outlet. My left forward could drop wider in case my left back gets the ball and he can then open up. My center forward could move a little higher, all right, to stretch the field. And my right forward right now is too far tucked in. He should go wider as well. That in itself will stretch the opponent from side to side and from end to end. With that, I got my two midfields alongside each other. My holding mid should be dropping in a little bit more in the area over here. That way we have a nice little diamond going here, and he's separated from the attacking mid. All right. So based on what you just saw, a slight change, right? So something to work on. I'm just going to let the video roll. On occasion, I'll talk over the video. Right, so this is now obviously not going to change the outcome, but again, you see, if we had done things differently, we could have moved the ball to move away from the opponent and eventually create the openings. And on occasion, there is still a certain form of success, but that is not necessarily because we're doing things super good. It's more because of us being a little more consistent, persevere through things, and or just a lack of ability on the opponent's end. I gotta be realistic there as well. All right, I'm just gonna let it roll. Corner kick. All right, so now we had an opportunity coming off the corner kick, goal kick for the opposing team. All right, and again, just gonna continue to let it roll for a little bit. All right, if there's one thing I can give this group of boys, you'll see they're quite aggressive defensively, which I'm very excited about. Not something I have enforced / focus on in training, but it's I think a positive byproduct of the intense training sessions that we have had so far, which we have been asked with a lot of effort. I'm going to rewind a few seconds. Look, right, so the opponent is under pressure. The ball goes out of bounds. We have a throw in here. Just see what happens. That's all. Okay. I highlighted this as an learning opportunity as well. So first and foremost, we have the throw in. Boom. What is almost everyone doing on the blue team? All right. My center forward is coming to the ball. My right back over here is coming to the ball. My holding mid is coming to the ball. My center attacking mid is also coming to the ball. So in effect, we are condensing the field even though we have possession of the ball. All right, now you'll see a couple other throw-ins coming through in a little bit as well. One thing that I guess I can say frustrates me a little bit is that throw-ins are almost exclusively thrown forward / down the line, often because players are told to do so because we're worried about potential mistake, but we lose possession here as well. And a throw-in is a great opportunity if we do well in the organization to change the point of attack. I mean, all the reds are near the ball as well. If we expand the field, my right back drops off a little bit. My center forward maybe goes a little higher. There's no offside on throw-ins. Can we then create space for either one of my midfielders who can then hopefully control the ball and play it out of pressure? All right, moving on. As I said, just letting it roll. Great interception, good defensive work. My center back here. Okay. So my right back tucked in nicely. That's why we need to condense the field. Not something that I'm focusing on right now, but a very good job done there. All right, so the ball is now with the keeper. Let's see what happens over here. My keeper, by the way, will not punt the ball unless he's told otherwise, as I want players to be forced to play the ball out of the back. All right. As you can tell, it worked out, but that it worked out doesn't mean we took full advantage of this situation. Let's go back to the build-up play scenario here. So again, the keeper has the ball. Now my right back gets the ball and done. Right, so now there's a couple of things that I would love to see change moving forward. Also to make sure that my right back has options on an angle. So in this instance, the keeper may be an option, but my midfielders are not showing, especially when holding mid, who I've circled here, number 6, who could drop in. And there's an opening between these two red players. My right forward could go wider so he can receive the ball there on an angle as well, with potential support from a center mid underneath here. My center back and my left back, I didn't even circle them, should also adjust that position. If we go down the right, my center back should come more central as an outlet potentially, as well as a safety mechanism. And my left back could tuck in as well. But again, these are all things that we just start working on. The idea is positive, the execution, and especially the positioning of the ball, we need to work on. And the same scenario evolves, right? It still was dangerous. And I believe we were rewarded a corner kick here again. All right, so organized. And look, one of our players is showing short for the ball, which could draw out an opponent as well, or provides an extra passing opportunity. All right, a bit of a rash decision, but as we move forward. All right, great defensive work here. All right, and what are we doing now? This is positive. We're looking to play it out of pressure. See? All right. Just letting it roll for a little before I go back so I can highlight a few things again. Because, we didn't move from side to side with a little bit of luck here and there and a great opportunity that unfortunately we didn't finish. But, the intent was positive. So I'm going back here, right, just to highlight a few things. And it's both positioning as well as the execution of some of the decisions made. So I love that my left forward here puts in the effort to win the ball back. All right, he has the ball. Look, he's recognizing, hey, I should go backwards. Now the supporting midfielder here is the attacking mid. If he drops off a little bit more, he has more space. More space means more time, and more time to make a good decision. Right? If he has more time to make a good decision, that will also improve the execution, hopefully. My left back doesn't have to come as close. Again, we're moving to the ball. All right. If he drops off a little further, he's an outlet away from pressure as well. My holding mid should be dropping a lot further to take advantage of the space in this hole over here. My my center back should support underneath the ball here most centrally, and the right back can drop in the hole. Right, now the other thing that you'll notice, it's not just the position, but it's also the execution here. Right? Are we receiving them on the far foot? Are we facing towards the field so we can make a good decision? I would argue that both players receiving the ball, my attacking mid here, my left back, could improve on their first touch, which will make things easier. But again, space, and by giving yourself more space, you have more time, will also help improve the execution. So the thought is very positive. Right? We're looking to play it out. All right. All right. And go back. Sorry, go back one more time because here you see. Oh, boom. All right, we're too close to pressure, right? In 2 instances. Then my center back is out here. He's also an outlet. Okay, on an angle again. Anyway, just gonna let it roll. Because in the end, with a little bit of hard work and desire, which I can't fault these boys for it, they're super excited, super eager, put a lot of pressure on the opponent, which is also very helpful. But I want to make sure that we also become better as a team in possession of the ball. The work off the ball defensively is pretty good. Yeah, the opponent has a goal kick again. This game largely was played or took place in the opponent's half. And there we go. Opponent has the ball, condensing the field nicely. Right, we do a pretty decent job of this. Now I've highlighted this throw-in again. It's definitely one of my pet peeves. You see my center back doing a good job dropping underneath the ball. All right, so I'll show that one more time. All right, so you see my center back is dropping off to provide an outlet. My right back could have dropped in a little bit more to be an outlet as well, but now we have to wait because there's a substitution taking place. And then we'll see how this evolves before I take it back. And my center back still supporting there. You can tell there's a big gap in the middle there that we're not taking advantage of, but I'll highlight that in a little bit. And again, the decision here, also because most players are ahead of the ball, is to throw the ball down the center. Okay, let's do that again. So we have the ball, substitution is completed. All right, so my left forward should start by going higher, wider and higher, create more space. My center forward should stay away longer, go as high as possible, create that space. Now, my holding mid need to be a little more disciplined. This is the gap that we have. My center back is somewhere over here. He's dropping off. Right, he can always be an outlet, a pivot to change the point of attack. Same thing for my holding mid here. Great option. So I don't mind my right forward, as this young man, tucking in a little bit, but he's tucked in so far that we're condensing the field. Right? The majority of players, unfortunately, at a younger age, run to the ball to open up passing lanes, which in essence will make things easier for the opponent rather than for us. All right. So again, another throw in which we could have maintained possession of the ball, but we unfortunately didn't. Let's play it again. Right. Obviously, the outcome won't change, but highlighting a few things. Right. And again, for me as a coach, this is very helpful as well because I see what works and in what areas we still need to improve. Now, coincidentally, we're going to get another throw in. You kind of hope that we make better decisions, but unfortunately, we still have the mindset to go straight forward down the line. I highlighted this one. No, I actually didn't highlight this one. But if you can tell, we're very quick to throw. Gotta go back a little. Look, are we organized? The support that we have is from 3 players here in one area, all running to the ball, and the rest of the team doesn't really adjust its position based on the position of the ball, which will make it hard to maintain control of the ball after the throw, let alone to move the ball to move the opponent. All right. There we go. Okay. Opponent's throwing. Okay, that's just a technical breakdown. The idea there on the opponent's end wasn't half bad, but he wasn't on an angle with his teammate, nor was the ball thrown in so he could control it. Now, again, throwing for us down the line. Now, I'm going to let it roll because you'll see that it ends up somewhat working out, but is that because of it being a good play or because of some sheer determination, a player able to dribble by a few players and get a good goal. So I'll go back to the throw in one more time. All right, again, we'll reset and just look at the organization first. Where is everyone? All right, so right back has the ball here. My right of my center back could drop off on an angle to provide an outlet, which then means my left back should drop in a little bit more on an angle for my right for the center back in case he gets the ball. But by dropping off a little bit here, we have outlets underneath the ball, which then also provides space for my holding mid over here to take advantage of. My right forward can stretch the field down the line. My left forward can go a little wider out of pressure as well. My center forward should be stretching the field a bit more. So we're separating more. And if we are separated, it becomes harder for the opponent to defend us. Right? Now, I've shown 3 different scenarios in which we had a throw in, we threw the ball down the line of forward. Decisions could be considered suspect, but I would also like to add that decisions are made based on what happens. Right? If the organization isn't ideal, then it's hard to make a better decision, of course. All right, so one more time, the goal, and now we're just gonna let it roll for a little bit again. I mean, the goal still counts, only once, even though I've seen it twice now. All right, so we'll get the kickoff. And again, there's a lot of positives with this group, absolutely. But I'm highlighting a few areas of growth, also for coach education purposes. So there we go. All right. So you'll see what happens here. It's a drop ball now because we hit the referee. I want to go back one more time. We have a throw in. What is our organization like? All right. So bear with me here. I'll go from back to front. So our keeper is aware, moving to the right side of the goal in case he needs to be of help. My center back is actually in a pretty positive position. He could receive the ball if my right back picks up his head. That does mean my left back should drop in a little bit more, but on the angle, providing a switch opportunity. My left forward could go a little wider. He doesn't have to go to the touchline, but could go a little wider. There's a ton of space then created here in the middle for my holding mid, who, as you may have noticed, is often playing ahead of my center attacking mid, unfortunately. My center attacking mid can take advantage of the space here. My center forward doesn't need to be as close to the ball. He should be out here. And then the last circle over here, hopefully you can make it out, given the many circles in a short amount of in a limited space. He can go higher and wider down the line as well. But again, the tendency of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players is largely, actually, I would say 6, to move to the ball rather than away from. Right? Now letting it play again. All right, so now I'm gonna try to let it play for a little bit so you can see a couple different things. There's a drop ball here. And let's see what we do now. Are we expanding the field? All right, slightly. My right foot could be wider. And again, I could argue that the decision made here by the center back is not the best, but decisions can only be made well if the organization around him, in this instance, or her, could also be the case, right? Depending on the game that you're watching, is good. Right? Yeah, a little bit of individual creativity. We're still talking about an age where I don't mind players dribbling a little bit, as long as it doesn't become the number one means to unbalance an opponent, or running hard with the ball, whatever you want to call it. And as long as they start to recognize when it's an option and when it's not. And that's something to work on. And with boys to have a tendency to over dribble, where girls have a tendency to pass when they may be in a scenario where they should be taking someone on. Don't want to use gender specific differences here, but in general, that's how it works. Girls a bit more social, want to share the ball. Boys tend to hold on to it a little bit more than they probably should. Not a bad idea to play the corner short. Opponent is not paying attention, and when they are, the referee is calling him back. So you see what kind of result it has very shortly as well. There we go. Because everyone is so withdrawn, he can literally dribble up and take a shot. If the Reds had stepped up more, then we could have played out of pressure even further through the left back or number 10 to change the point of attack. All right. So letting it roll. There's 2 more moments I want to highlight. All right. And again, we're actually doing a very decent job defensively. We're eager, we're compact. We're forcing them away from our goal, which is very helpful. So everything I've been focusing on is on the attacking end. As I said before, trying to find a way to move the ball to move the opponent. Okay, now let's see how this evolves, because this is, there we go. All right, so individual creativity, not bad. Could we have done this differently, right? That's the question. So go back to the organization here. I'm just looking at the moment here shortly. Just bear with me. There we go. So we have the ball here. Boom. Is it a 1v1 or is it a 3v1? Now, my left back is a little further out of pressure. Right, again, we're kind of getting sucked towards the ball again. He's further out of pressure. We have a good pass out here. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 reds here. The fifth one on the post here. That's 5 out of the 9, actually 6 and 7. So there's a lot of defenders here. He drops out away from pressure. If my midfielder here drops out, we may have a switch and we can go straight to the goal again. Right. So want to stress that I definitely encourage individual creativity, but find the moment. But can he make this decision if my left back is not providing him with the support? Is it in the right angle? Is it at the right distance? And does he do it at the right time? As stated before, the angle of support, the distance of the support, as well as the timing of when the run is made to support the player on the ball. Okay. So letting it roll again. I believe there's a corner kick to be taken. I want to show one more instance or highlight one more instance in which we had an opportunity to build from the back. I hope this is insightful for everyone as well, of course. I believe a video like this is much more helpful than a lengthy written email. Not bad. All right, so here you see, okay, let's go back. So the decision itself is not bad. Here it is, the movement or the lack of it, as well as potentially the quality of the pass with that maybe the quality of the touch. So it's the decision made, not a bad one. The execution needs to be worked on. But those also play a factor, of course, as I tried to highlight earlier on as well. All right. Okay. So we're tracking back. We got numbers near the ball. Nope. A little rush. Okay, so goal kick for us. And just keep an eye on how we organize. Right? What are we doing? What aren't we doing? All right. At this moment, we're also making changes which impact the organization. New left back, new left forward. Okay, I like what my center back is doing here. Right, he's asking for the ball. And from here on, right, you see we lost possession, but it's largely due to our organization again. It's hard for my center back in this scenario to make a good decision if the support isn't there. I'll show you one more time. Okay, center back gets the ball. Boom. All right, so first and foremost, execution. My keeper puts the ball down, look around, make sure you set him up for success. My center back should be receiving the ball across his body, so it makes it easier for him to go both ways. Now, a couple of arrows drawn. The actual ball ends up being played somewhere down the middle, somewhat on a straight line into my left forward. But what if my left back had dropped a little wider? We have a pass, potentially breaking lines already. My left forward goes wider. All right. My midfielders need to show this may be a pass to a midfielder. Or as I said, we go to left back. I also want to stress that on a goal kick like this, you play with 3 in the back, right? Left back, center back, right back. My right back needs to tuck in further, okay, in case we lose possession of the ball. And then I roll one more time. Okay. As you can tell here, and I pause it again, my midfielders are nowhere to be seen right now. Okay, we're not creating the space for the midfielders. My midfielders aren't making the effort, I would argue, to show for the ball either. All right, so I'm gonna stop this share, go back to my slide presentation that I started with earlier on. So these were the key considerations. All right, I talked a bit of the support in which, of the angle in which we support the player on the ball, the distance. Again, a lot of players tend to run to the ball rather than away from the ball, away from pressure means you have more time. More time means hopefully making a better decision and will help you improve your execution as well. Because if you have more time, the pressure on the technical component is obviously lower as well. Timing, right? Can you make sure you make your supporting run at the right moment? And these are folks on the individual on the ball, right? What decision do you make? But again, if there's no support or the support is not in a good position, it's hard to make a good decision. I also talked about a couple of moments in which our execution needs to improve, both the manner in which we receive the ball, as well as the manner in which we pass the ball. Last but not least, are we looking to go forwards all the time, or are we able to play a ball under pressure? All with the objective to focus on a very generic principle that could be applied to a variety of attacking situations. Can we move the ball to move the opponent? All right, I hope you guys found this insightful. There's definitely more to come this year. Using different age groups and different videos this coming fall season to share some hopefully insightful information with everyone.